Okay, Year 4. In today's art lesson, we're going to be thinking about Corbusier, who is a graphic designer and architect, and he uses 2D shapes to do all of his artwork. So today we're going to be taking a sentence from "No Barley Water Runs Away," and we're going to use that as our guide for our artwork. So he said in the book, the village held only a small collection of peculiarly shaped buildings situated at irregular intervals along a single street. So, in our art today, using only 2D shapes, we are going to make a cityscape of peculiarly shaped buildings. The 2D shapes that we might choose to use are our triangles, which are our simple three-sided shapes. We might also choose to use a circle. We could use a rectangle, we could use a square, and we could, if you wanted to be really fancy, try using a diamond. If you wanted to do a roof, the shape that you would probably want for a roof would be your trapezium, which looks a bit like this. So you've got your longer bottom, shorter top, and two diagonal sides, making that roof shape. When you want to make your building, they don't need to be complicated shapes. Just simple ones like these ones will make it a lot easier for you to do your artwork. You will need pens or colouring pencils, but I'll explain that in a moment. So, in my street, I think that I'm going to have 6 buildings. I might add 7 if I have time. So, my first building, as they are peculiarly shaped buildings, I think I'm going to have a really tall triangle. Like this. So I've got one really tall triangular building. My windows in that, I'm going to have the same shape. So I'm going to have maybe a triangular window at the top. I'm going to turn that triangle the opposite way to the rest of my building. And I might have some bigger triangular windows a bit further down. So you can repeat the same shape inside each of the buildings. I also might have a really big triangular door, a bit like that. For my roof, I'm also going to use a triangle, but for my roof, I think I'm going to use an equilateral triangle, which is where we have all sides of our triangle the same shape. So we can see that this is a bit of a peculiar house, because the top of the house is a lot smaller than the rest of the roof, and that's what we want. My next building, I think I'm going to make as some sort of circle, and as it's on a street, I'm going to start drawing my circle. Doesn't matter if it goes off the bottom of the page, that's fine. And in here, I might choose to have some oval windows. So I'm going to have a window shaped a bit like this. And I might have my door as an oval as well, going the other way. And on this house, I'm not going to have a roof. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. My next house, I'm going to have a rectangle. So I'm going to draw my lines using a ruler, as it makes it a lot easier. So here I've got my building. Well, at least I've got the outline of the building. In this house, I'm going to have some diamond windows. So with our diamond, it's a bit like a diagonal and wonky square. So instead of having your shape flat in a square shape like this, you would go at an angle. So instead, it would look like that. It could be easier to draw dots and then join the dots up afterwards to make your shape stand out a bit more. Okay, I'm also going to have a big diamond shaped door at the bottom, and I think I'm going to have a rectangular window in the middle. For my roof on this house, I'm going to have a trapezium, so I'm going to add my trapezium shaped roof. Next to this building, I think that I'm going to have an upside down triangle house, so I'm going to have it going this way and going down and going down. I've overlapped these two, so it looks like this house sits behind this one here. And in this house, I'm going to have my windows going the other way. And that's my door where you enter in the bottom. You could choose to have your roof as lots of different sized of one shape. So I'm choosing to do big and small triangles on this roof. So it looks a little bit like a carrot. But this is going to be my house. I'm going to add one more building. I didn't quite get 6 in, so I'm going to add one more. I think I'm going to have a really tall and really skinny rectangular house. So I'm going to do it like that. And you could choose to have lots of windows or very few windows. And you don't need to have all of your windows in a set place. So you might choose to stagger your windows a bit like this. So there's one of my last houses. And I'm going to give that one a roof as well. And I'm going to give it a wonky sideways rectangle. Okay. Now you can see I've got my street. So this is the bottom of the street. And I've got all of the houses going up. You can colour in your background. That is fine. But in order to colour in the buildings, you're going to need 2 shades or 3 shades of similar colours. So for my circle building, I might choose to go for a yellow and a different shade of yellow. So I've got 2 shades of yellow here. You could use an orange if you want to, or you could use red to make it more of a fiery toned house. So your main building is going to be 1 shade of your colour. So I'm going to colour this one in yellow. I'm not going to colour in the whole thing because you'll see what I mean in a moment. If we just pretended all of this building was coloured in yellow, I'll go in and neatly finish it in a minute. You would then go in with your different shade of yellow or your orange and you'd colour your doors and windows in that different colour. So in this house, my doors and windows are a lighter yellow than the rest of my building. As you can see, they're 2 different colours. For your other houses, I might choose green. So I've got a dark green and I've got a light green. And so I think for my triangle house, I might have all of my building in a lovely light green. Obviously yours will be a lot neater than mine. And then I might have my windows and my roof and my door in my dark green. So each of your buildings will end up being different colours. So as we can see on this one, everything else is a different shade of green. Once it's completely finished, you can then go in and colour in your background. That works fine. Remember, it's trying to describe that sentence from the book Noah Barley Water Ran Away. So your buildings don't have to look normal, they can look really strange. So you can have your upside down triangle houses, you can have your normal triangular houses, and you can have circular houses. That's fine too. I'm going to insert here some pictures of Lee Corbusier's actual building designs and some of his plans as well for you to have some inspiration. As you can see, I now have all of my buildings coloured in, so all of them are a different shade from each other. I'm then going to take a black and I'm going to go around and outline each of my building's details. So I'd go around the roof, I'd go around each of the windows, just to really make them stand out so that you can see all the different shapes on them. This is something that happens in normal architecture because normally on our windows we have a window frame and different things going around them to make them all stand out from the rest of the building. So that would be your next step before you do your background. Your background doesn't need to be a different colour to some of your buildings. You might choose that you really like blue and you have lots of different shades of blue at home, so you do all of your background in blue. That's fine. You can do that if you like to. Now that you've got all of your buildings drawn and outlined and your background, you could choose to add in the description from the book, which said that a small collection of peculiar shaped buildings. So in this big space that I've left at the top, you don't need to do this bit, but I'm choosing to because I think it adds to the story. I'm going to put, if the book would stay open, a small collection of peculiarly shaped buildings. Just to add to the story. So your work could look something like this. I'm hoping that your work will look even neater than this and that yours will look even better than mine. I'm going to put a scanned copy of this into our class files so that you can see what it looks like when it's done. The stranger your house looks, the better. So if you wanted to have a huge oval building with lots of strange shaped windows, that is fine. I want your street to look as creative and as crazy as possible, just using these 2D shapes and all the different colours. This probably would work better if you were using pencil, because you can do different tones of the same colour. Using pens, it's very flat, so it might look better doing it in pencil if you can. I hope that you do enjoy your art lesson, and if you do finish one scene, you can go in and do another one. You could choose to do two and stick them together and have a really long picture. That is fine as well. Hope you enjoy your lesson, and I'll see you for story time in a little while.